Hey Web3 fam, it's time to do a different type of video today. We're going to talk about some amazing Web3 games coming soon. I promised in my last video I'll stop talking about card games so much, so I thought what's the best thing I could do? And that was to give you my top 3 games that are coming out soon that I've been playing recently, that you guys need to get into right now. I've been really lucky to be able to play some games at early access before others get access, so I thought it'd only be best if I give you games that I played myself and not games that we're seeing trailers for, little gameplay clips, as we want to play games, we don't want to watch videos. Yes, no shitting baby, only games that I've played, as we don't want to talk about games that are forever coming soon and never going to come, because they get hit with so many delays. So let's get into the video. So like the video if you like Web3 games, and comment below what one you're playing currently. Oh, don't forget to sub, as all my subscribers make money while playing games. Kinda. With all that said, let's get into the top 3 games coming soon to Web3. Cue the intro. Like always, before we do our top 3, we're going to give you an honorable mention, and today's game is going to be Big Time. And the only reason it's an honorable mention is it's kind of already out, but let me explain Big Time in short. You can pick between 4 different hero classes, and once you level them up, you can combine them hero classes together. And each hero class plays out completely differently. And the 4 classes you can play in the game are Tank, Healer, Mage, and Spy. Well, it's kind of like a ninja, but I'm going to call it a spy. And as these are like the normal classes for RPG games, I thought people will easily be able to relate to any one of these classes and play for hours. And what the aim of the game is you're going to grind through dungeons, level up your armor, your items, get some new items along the way. And the best part is your NFTs act like cosmetics. So no matter if you change your sword over and over again, you'll still have the same cosmetic NFT over it, so it looks the same all the time. If you're active in the Big Time community and you watch the game on Twitch, you definitely have access to gaining access to the game. Access. As all you need is to get a pass from a streamer that's linked to Big Time, or be a part of a community that has a mod or someone that's kind of tied to Big Time. I'm not too sure how the pass giving out thing works, but everyone's kind of able to be able to do so. So if you want access to the game, it's all on you to go get it. But for me, currently, it's the only Web3 MMORPG game with the graphics this high. A lot of games have gone back to the prehistoric, 16-bit, 8-bit type of graphics, but with Big Time, they've gone for the full-on AAA experience. Each hero, each ability has its own animation, which is great. They don't really set the bar low when it comes to this stuff, as all characters generally feel when you're playing them, feel unique. And when you face different type of enemies, but it could be a big creature like a big bug, or it could be a giant robot, each one of them feels a little bit different. And even some enemies have different unique defenses that you have to get around. And each area, when you're playing different missions there, they all feel different. The beginning area is on the beach, so you can definitely get that kind of aesthetic. And then the other area, which is the woodlands, when you go into the portals and do their missions, they have kind of the whole different experience. The world feels completely different. For me though, they could definitely kind of interchange some of the enemies, because a lot of the time you will feel like you're playing against the same monsters over and over again for a long period of time, depending on how long it takes you to level up. But once you move from one area like the woods onto the frosty snowy area, there's the different stages and different enemies, but it takes too long to get to that point. But it's definitely not a hindrance, as personally a lot of RPG games have this, where you'll face the same enemies over and over again and there's not much changes. The big thing for me though is you can spend hours playing this game. The thing is, their play to earn element is, depending on how long you play the game and how many people you have in your party, plays a big factor in when an NFT is going to drop. As when you're playing the game, running through dungeons, completing missions, an NFT can randomly drop, and that NFT can range between $1 up to hundreds of dollars. And that's the best part. You don't actually need to own any NFTs, and you don't have a token out yet. So when you're playing the game, you're playing for free, and you can randomly get dropped an NFT that could be worth any amount of money. And the thing is, the land access, which they call space, isn't even out yet, but it's coming out soon. We've had little bits and pieces, we can go inside of our space now, we can decorate it. And now all we're waiting for is the crafting stations. And that basically allows the space owners to be able to make NFTs. And then once that happens, you have so many different weapon skins, so many different armor skins, and they'll all be made from their own player community. And the thing is with RPG games, you want to be able to spend hours playing them, and you want to feel like your time is being used well. So for me, in the Web3, an RPG game is brilliant for the sheer fact more time you spend in there, you might get yourself an NFT that could be worth hundreds. But think about all the time you spent on RuneScape, World of Warcraft. You had to actually spend money for subscriptions to play these games, and you couldn't extract anything out of them. But with Big Time, you can do that. Now we've talked about our honorable mention, it's time to get into the top 3. Starting off with number 3, which is No Way Back. And No Way Back is basically an all-round shooting game. It has a battle royale, it has a team deathmatch, it has free for all, and we can only wait for the new game modes that are coming out soon. None have been planned, but we can only wait to see what they're going to come up with. And for me, this game gives me Fortnite vibes. There's no game I've played so far in Web3 that has made me think about Fortnite so much. No other game kind of gives me Fortnite vibes like this one, as if you look at the character designs, you can have a swimmer running around with an AK, shooting up against, I don't know, someone in a bunny outfit. And I think this kind of aesthetic is already known to players, as you know, Fortnite is a big game. And for me, that allows you to be able to hopefully bridge them players over to this game, as it's Web3. And you can only expect that the NFTs will be cosmetic skins, and that means people can sell them on the blockchain to make some money. And the thing is with Web3 games is, they can easily take a popular concept like Fortnite and just add the blockchain to it where people can sell their skins, and it allows the cosmetics that they make have real world value. And real world value is important to real people. And the thing with No Way Back is they already have the battle pass planned, and I feel this is a great system for that a lot of Web3 games should take, considering gamers are already used to this. People are already used to spending, I don't know, $15 every 2 weeks to get a bunch of cosmetics in your game. And the thing with No Way Back, it's so easy for them to make cosmetics. They can make cosmetics for their weapons, their characters. You can make even like cosmetics that intertwine with each other, so you can have a cowboy hat on with a random Hawaiian shirt, and then, I don't know, space shorts. Have it completely different from other games. And the thing is, the Fortnite model is so perfect that a lot of other games took away from it. A lot of games come out with a battle royale because of Fortnite. A lot of games kind of reworked their battle pass system to like mimic Fortnite, as with Fortnite they had an amazing thing where once you bought the battle pass once, as long as you don't spend any of them V-Bucks, you could rebuy the battle pass again. And I feel not many Web3 games will definitely take that approach, as Web3 games kind of find it hard to make revenue, and the battle pass is the easy system for them to do that. And if the game makes more revenue, that means more development. That means our games will constantly get better, and it won't be hindered by a bear market. The thing that No Way Back will have that makes it stand out from like, you know, just being a straight Fortnite clone is the unique kind of like gameplay features they have and kind of aesthetics they have for their characters. Like for example, one of them is the pop-ups that come up when like you do random interactions in the game. If you fail to do a reload, a pop-up will come up and your character will do some random animation moving around. I feel these random pop-ups give like a comic booky aesthetic to it, and it makes it kind of fun to play, as if you're having like an error in the game, a little pop-ups coming up, and it can definitely be infuriating, but at the same time it's kind of comic relief. And I think a lot of games kind of come across a lot serious, and like think about the Call of Duties in the world with like the realistic perspective. And I feel No Way Back is definitely going to the left of that and being more funny, and I thought this aesthetic could be really good for the growth of the game, as it can definitely appeal to like a younger audience from the way how the characters are and the little animations that I said. The other cool aspect about the game is the ideas that they came up with for running, you know, hovering in the air and going across water. For example, when you run, you do the Naruto run that everyone knows, and when you're falling from the sky, you ride a hoverboard. And when you're going across oceans, you're on a surfboard. I feel these ideas are great, and they give kind of a whole new aesthetic to the game. For me, this is a great all-round shooting game. Considering all the game modes they have, like Battle Royale and like all the team deathmatch stuff, it can definitely appeal to all types of shooting gamers out there, depending on what your flavour is. Considering the game's already in early access, they have so many maps already, so you can only expect they're going to bring out some more maps once it finally launches. And for me, I feel like this game's going to be a part of the new era of Web3 gaming, when it's going to be more NFT orientated and not token orientated. And I feel play to earn was the last era of Web3 games, and going forward it's going to be the NFT games that hold true, like Big Time, No Way Back, and maybe some more that we're going to mention today. The thing with No Way Back, I can expect it's going to be a free to play game, And they're definitely going to have NFTs that randomly drop, or you get from the battle pass. And then if you don't get the skins during the battle pass, you won't be able to get them unless you buy them with someone else. And I think that's going to develop scarcity, and then the market's slowly going to build itself up. The more people that get into the game, they might want an older skin. Then that makes that NFT have loads of value to that player. That's what I mean. I thought NFT gaming makes so much more sense, as if you make a great game, your NFTs will have value. And you don't have to worry about burning mechanisms, staking mechanisms, this mechanism, that mechanism. And you can just make a game that's enjoyable for players. And if it's enjoyable, people want to own stuff from it. And then right there is the perfect system to make a market. And for our number 2 game, it could have been number 1. But for me, it's been coming soon for so long, so I had to put it as number 2. And that is Ember Sword. And the thing is, I've done a playtest of the game, and generally, I wanted to keep on playing. The game was so amazing. And even though it was only in the early access, it was only like the early bits, it was so much enjoyment for me. I was so happy when I was playing it. But in short, Ember Sword is basically a traditional MMORPG game. And it kind of takes a lot of tropes from like the old games we used to play, like old school RuneScape and things like that. But sticking with the old school RuneScape theme for a second, I definitely feel like all the players that used to play this game, that like Ember Sword took all the things that made that game amazing. If you think about it, old school RuneScape had not necessarily amazing graphics. It was definitely graphics of that time period. But the thing is, when RuneScape decided to bring out a newer version of the game with higher graphics, the audience didn't want it. They had to bring out the old school version of RuneScape to appeal to like their major audience. And that just showed that you can have so much great graphics for a game, but people are really there for the gameplay. They're there for all the little intricate things you can do within your game. And it can look so pretty, a world can look so amazing. But if there's not such great things to do in the world, we're not going to play it. And if you think about old school RuneScape, they actually had a marketplace in that game. There was a lot of off-market deals that was happening. And if you think about RPG games as a whole, that's like the easiest idea and easiest concept for Web3 to make into a great game. Because there's so many different items you need, so many different cosmetics you can have. And if you just make them into NFTs that people can buy and trade for real world value, that's an easy solution. That's an easy game to make, and that's such easy success to have. But like I already touched on a little bit, it plays off on all the traditional RPG things that we used to do, such as mining to make stuff, wood cutting to make stuff, and it plays on a lot of the traditional RPG values that we used to have, because we didn't always want to go around battling monsters, slaying dragons. We wanted to spend a little downtime, cutting down some trees, mining some ore, and making things from the materials that we get. And even though I only had like a short little playthrough of the game, I got to do all them things. I attacked monsters, I had a great time in the battle system, but I was able to mine things again. I was able to woodcut just like in RuneScape. They definitely did take that element from RuneScape. But when you play an RPG game now, it's more story driven, it's more side quest driven, and they don't think about all the little random things we used to do in the world. But Ember Sword goes straight back to that core value. I think that's amazing. And if you look at the gameplay, when you're doing your battles, it's like the traditional battle system when you had like 1 to 4 combos, and as you level up, you get new things. And I think that's great, because I don't know, for me, I used to spend hours just playing RuneScape. And if I could find another game just like that, I would do it again. So Ember Sword is the only true successor to RuneScape I could feel, considering RuneScape had a market. They sort of had a real world market, but it was all off market, and I'm not sure if RuneScape really had that in the term of service. But with Ember Sword, it's going to be a Web3 game, so you're going to be allowed to do all that off-world market stuff in world, because it'll have its own in-game market. I thought Ember Sword has such high potential from this. It's such a great idea, but it's forever been coming soon. And even though we did get a playtest, and I think they got another one scheduled, this game needs to come out now. And I mean right now. And the reason I want it out right now is because Ember Sword has such huge potential. Not just that it's kind of, what I played was already pretty amazing. Like, it was pretty flourished out, even though the textures might not have been there and things like that. The core aspects of the game, like the combat, you know, the professions or whatever you want to call them. It was there. And for me, an RPG game is kind of like one of the easiest games for players to spend hours playing, spending their whole day planned around it. You can say shooting games is that, but people end up getting jaded, and you end up coming off of your shooting game to play a story-driven game. And the thing is with RPG, they're story-driven, combat-driven, they're life-driven. And the thing is, like I said, that little playtest I had, I was wanting to play it more and more. They only gave us 30 minutes to play the game, and I was lucky enough to play another extra 30 minutes, but only having an hour playing this game, it was not enough for me. I was wanting to play more, and I think that's exactly what games need. They want their gamers to want to play more of their game. A lot of times when you play a Web3 game, you're trying to get through all your little play to earn stuff, and then you're going to get onto your next game. And it becomes that cycle of doing your earning and moving on, doing your earning and moving on. But I feel with Ember Sword, a lot of other Web3 games that you're playing will get put to the side, and you're mainly just focus on that. And I feel like Ember Sword, once it drops, it would generally take the Web3 space. It would take all the games. It would take all the communities. Ember Sword is generally that high of a potential. And like I said, it would have been number 1 if it weren't forever coming soon, and it didn't have such a limited playtest. But if it didn't have that, it would have been number 1. So we've talked about some amazing games so far, but now it's time to get into number 1. And the number 1 game that's coming soon in the Web3 space is My Pet Hooligans. You may have seen it on Twitter, you may have heard of it. When you've looked at it though, you've been like, when can I get access? When can I play it? Because the game looks so great. Becca's already done an amazing review of the early access of the game, and I'm going to link at the top left. But I can't explain everything in such a short segment of a video, so go check out the full one if you haven't already. The thing with My Pet Hooligans is, it's a triple threat. It has amazing gameplay, it's amazing graphics, and it has amazing tech, which not a lot of Web3 games actually have. If you compare My Pet Hooligans graphics to any other Web3 game, it's not going to compare. The movement is fluid. When you're jumping around as the bunny, it's smooth. Like it's not jagged. It's not like there's no frames being dropped. It just looks amazing. Considering you can have so much stuff going on, from exploding cars, bullets flying, bunnies jumping up and down, you can follow along, and like, because of the way how the colours are in the game, it just looks so vibrant. And I don't know, I can't say amazing enough when it comes to this game. And if you compare the graphics to any other Web3 game, it doesn't compare. A lot of Web3 shooting games are scared to have shadows, black lines, and some actual like sharpness to their graphics. But My Pet Hooligans looks so sharp, so clean. Like, it generally feels like it's already complete now, and just holding it away from us. And remember I said it's a triple threat. It also has amazing tech along with it. It has this software where basically you can record your face and its facial movements, and then your bunny within game will mimic that. No other Web3 game is doing that. No other Web3 game is thinking about how can we use mobile phones and other technology to enhance our game, and also how to bring more like personality to the characters we're playing. Because if you have like a certain type of smile you do, like a crooked smile or whatever, you can implement that onto your character. So like, I'm not sure if they're going to do it when like at the end of the game all your bunnies stand together and pose, but then your character can do its own unique style of pose, and it'll be you. But for me, My Pet Hooligans generally has one of the best themes in Web3. It's not just your traditional shooting game where you're going around blapping people up. It isn't. You're running around as bunnies. And considering it's called My Pet Hooligan, I'm definitely expecting them to bring more animals out and not just have bunnies constantly. And the thing is, with this theme, it can broaden to a big audience. Because a lot of Web3 gamers, let's be honest, they gotta be 25 plus, and you need a bit of money to be in Web3. But with My Pet Hooligans, their aesthetic shows that they're trying to appeal to a broader audience. They're trying to like capture that younger audience that has played that rabbit game from Nintendo. What's it called? Play that Nintendo rabbit game, Raving Rabbits or whatever it's called. But think about that audience there. They don't really want to be standing there as like a random army guy. No, they want to stand around being like a bunny, a dog, or whatever. And I feel My Pet Hooligans is definitely going to use that aesthetic and theme very well. And also, it's great to see that My Pet Hooligans is trying to step away from the norm of always being serious like Call of Duty, or having kind of like a cartoony graphics but still be people like a Halo, for example, or EV.io. Because let's be honest, EV.io is basically the clone of Halo, but with My Pet Hooligans, it's not a clone of any other game. And a lot of Web3 games are kind of like copies of other games, so it's nice for them to stand out. Like I said earlier about Ember Sword having such huge potential, with My Pet Hooligans, the reason it's number one is it has the most chance, and I mean the most chance, of actually being a mainstream game for people. Like, not just a mainstream Web3 game, a mainstream game, because the aesthetic is so great. Like, the whole bunny thing, it also makes me think about Zootopia, the movie, where no one's walking around as people, everyone's just a different animal walking around in the world. And the thing is with this theme, you don't have to appeal to the male audience that is like dominated in the crypto. You can appeal to the female audience, because think about it, I didn't make the review on My Pet Hooligans, Becca did, because Becca's really enjoying the game. She really wants to get herself a little hooligan that kind of matches her kind of persona. And that's the thing, because of the aesthetic of the game, people are going to be more enticed to buy the NFTs, because people are like, oh, I don't want to be any bunny, I want to be a super cool bunny. And that there just brings value to the game itself. The thing is with My Pet Hooligans, it could definitely appeal to like the Nintendo audience, because Nintendo are renowned for never using human characters in their games and always using some form of animal. Think about Banjo-Kazooie, Sonic, and things like that. Their animals popped up as humans. So for me, My Pet Hooligans has such great potential when it comes to their aesthetic, their theme. Like, they can do so many other things other than shooting games. That IP can blossom them up into so many other things. And if you're an owner of these NFTs, you're going to be lucky, because these NFTs could be probably used in other types of games. It was hard only picking 3 games to put in this list, but I felt that these 3 stood out the most within the Web3 space. All the 3s. As it's Web3, we have so many games coming out soon, but I thought it's best to highlight these games as they have playable versions, and we want to play games and not watch trader videos forever. And we want games to be excited for, not games that are forever coming soon. Delays, more delays. Well, that's it from us for today. I hope I taught you about some great games that are coming out soon within Web3. But if you haven't already, like the video if you like Web3 games, and comment below which one you're playing currently. Oh, don't forget what I said about my subscribers making money while playing games. Make sure you're one of them by being a subscriber. And remember, be a shark in this world, not a whale. And we're going to see you guys next time.